Hey, what's up guys? Jake here, back with some Fatal 12. We're hanging out at our house, and Miharu's here, so everything's gonna be alright. Actually, now that I think about it, she is trying to kill us or something, so maybe they won't be alright. But anyways, I like Miharu, so let's get into this.
Hey there.
Oh, hey yourself, let me get you some coffee. Please don't kill me.
Thanks. Should you really be giving out freebies though?
Oh please, you know I've been giving you freebies in the cafeteria all day. I non-followed by telling her that we might be here for a while. After making enough for the both of us to move over to our usual table.
Oh, look at her. She's so happy. Is it safe to assume you're looking to confirm certain things with me?
Yeah. She wastes no time getting into the meat of things. She takes a sip of her coffee before going on.
As delicious as ever.
Thanks, but let's not get off topic. That night when I caught you and Sonia discussing something. It was about my cause of death card, wasn't it?
Yep. I bet you hadn't anticipated her being in possession of one of your cards. She didn't keep it a secret with any bad intentions, though. Apparently she just didn't want you to suspect her even more.
I can't blame her considering how I acted when we first met.
Anyone in your position would have done the same. That's why I made it a point to confirm with her whether or not she had any of our cards.
As it turned out, she also had your name card.
Right. She mentioned that she regretted her choice. That it would have been better to have thrown her fear of not being trusted away and told us the whole truth.
That sounds just like her. To be fair, if she did tell us, I would not have trusted her at all, so like, whatever.
No argument there. It's almost upsetting just how innocent that girl was. Because you remember that she fucking died, right? Oh, and I killed her. Isn't that fun?
Memories of us sitting together at this very table come flooding back. It's like we were nothing more than three friends hanging out because we were, but whatever.
You know that number 11's looking to eliminate as many people as she possibly can, so I wanted to make sure she didn't get her hands on my card. More importantly, though, the prospect of her snatching up your card terrified me.
And that's why you opted to eliminate Sonia instead. I hesitate to press the issue any further. Why didn't you just get her name card, though? Mainly because it involves questioning how she can be so calm and collected in the face of all this. It's entirely possible to hear something I don't want to hear if I ask.
I'm a murder psychopath and I like the smell of blood.
And yet I end up asking her anyways. So, how can you say this come after elimination? Did it really mean nothing to you? Are you a heartless bitch?
Is there any need to waste my time feeling upset?
I can't bring myself to snap anything back to her. Yeah, hi, you probably just should be upset. That's the exact response I was afraid I'd hear. It's not like I don't understand her point. I know there's no point in being upset, yeah, but there's never a point to being upset, right? It's just a thing that you do because it's sad. You honestly have no issues taking that stance.
I don't. My course was set the moment I learned that you're a participant. My life exists solely for yours now.
Cool! That's fun! Do you want to do me a favor and never ever say that again? I can't help but be blunt. While I expected such a reply, it's still not really what I wanted to hear. I don't have it in me to say anything more, Jesus Christ.
It's barely been a day since it happened, so I can understand why you're distraught. In fact, your ability to worry like this is one of your stronger points, followed closely by your tits.
The tone of her voice doesn't falter.
We should probably wrap up for the night. Although, would you mind if I stayed a little bit longer? I haven't gotten to finish my coffee yet.
My only response is a quick nod. Just as she said, I'm still distraught over what happened. What's worse, I seem to get more aggravated at night. I end up waiting for Miharu to finish her coffee. I can't bring myself to look in the eye during that time. Not even once, especially not with her huge knockers right there, dude.
Well then, I should be going now.
Do you mind waiting for a minute? Weren't you kicking her out like a second ago? What a weird reversal. I stop her just as she gets ready to walk out. There's still one important question left for me to ask. Your previous surname was Hibinata, right? I know there's been some issues at home and stuff, but like, I was always curious why you didn't have your name card, and then it triggered with Hibinata Miharu rather than Mishima Miharu, so like, I'm
Mishima Miharu on my family's register, just so you know.
Yeah, so like, it creates a whole lot of doubt for me when it comes to the criteria for creating new cards.
Yeah, and those doubts aren't unfounded. Our lovely little goddess seems to have skipped on her explanation regarding to the process. You could call it a loophole of sorts.
I managed to catch the brief glimpse of sadness in her expression. There's no doubt she's not very comfortable discussing this topic, and yet she's doing her best to act unfazed for my sake. I make no effort to stop her, though. She knows I've noticed, which is why she's not bothering to explain it in the first place.
First things first, I need to apologize for not telling you the truth.
Her expression grows more pained as she says that. I kind of feel bad about it, except that she killed like a 5-year-old the other day, so like, maybe we don't need to pity her so much. So I can only imagine how she feels.
The only way I can explain is by divulging even more about myself.
Okay, this is weird now.
I said my surname was Mishima after my parents got divorced, but, well, that's not entirely correct. You know full well that my mother isn't the greatest person in the world.
That's your mother! Be nice!
In fact, let me make it clear that I fucking hate that bitch.
She's talked to me about her mom before, albeit briefly. About her habit of wasting money and her failure to do any chores, for instance. That's why Maharu has several part-time jobs and has to deal with the household chores as well. Unlike most students out of Mecca, she's far from financially sound. The only reason she can attend is due to her scholarship.
If I had things my way, I'd take my father's surname. But alas, I'm stuck with this one.
I sense that there's a lot more to this than what she's telling me. It's likely that everything she's suffered through links back to whatever that could be.
You'd think the rules pertaining to our individual cards would be grounded with logic, but that isn't the case. In fact, they seem to rely far more on one's personal perception.
You can't make blind guesses when it comes to someone's cause of death and regret cards. Knowledge of the events surrounding them is a requirement. Each participant's perception of those events takes priority. In other words, there's no universal criteria in place for participants when it comes to creating new cards. That's Maharu's point. Well, except for cause of death, right? There's no like, oh, well, you know, it looks like I drowned, but I feel like I, you know, got shot. You know what I mean?
In my case, I've yet to accept that my name really is Mishima Maharu.
So that's why your name card is Hibinata Maharu instead.
Considering our cards are linked to the dream world, a deep part of the psyche, I really must be against taking on the Mishima name.
Then it might be more logical than you think. Think about it, no one's born with a name. It's on someone else to give it to them. The names aren't set in stone either. If it weren't for Kiko, I probably would have agreed with Maharu. But now, this is how I truly feel. Surnames change all the time due to marriage. Not only that, but you can even get it changed legally if you feel so inclined. It's not always cut and dry like that, sure, but names are still something that reflect a person's individuality above all else.
I certainly hadn't thought about it that way. Perhaps my concern about my name was obstructing my outlook on the bigger picture.
Wow, how wise of you, I guess. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but still, I feel like my doubts have been cleared up.
Sorry for the confusion.
No, don't worry about it. We've all got our baggage. You'll always be the same Maharu to me, regardless of what happens. She giggles with a smile in response to my proclamation. It's not a forced smile either. It is sincere, one of relief.
Well, slightly off topic. I was worried you'd start to avoid me after what I said in the Court of Fate.
Really? I knew exactly what you were doing. I'm not an idiot.
Assuming things went as planned, some of the other participants may be giddy over how we got into a big fight.
Oh, I don't know who the fuck said this. We'll just take a guess. Probably Maharu. Oh, this is the line she said. That's why. The other participants must have figured out our friendship because of how we've been talking to each other since the very first election. In fact, Sonia assumed we were friends from the start, too. The timing couldn't have been more perfect.
Indeed. Regardless, I should really be on my way.
Oh, I'll see you tomorrow, girl. I love Maharu. Don't kick her out of our life, even if she is a child murderer. She smiles and makes an ever so elegant exit from the store. Funny, I made coffee thinking we'd be talking for a while, but the real conversation only began after we finished drinking it. Life's funny. I take a moment and stare at Maharu's empty cup before getting back to my usual routine. Anyways, I guess I went to bed or something. Already morning. I slept so soundly last night that I didn't even dream. Dreams. Hard to believe such a concept has taken on a whole new meaning for me. I never considered the possibility of a whole other world existing within our dreams. Not to mention goddess like Parka coming along connecting me with others through said world. I mean, who could imagine meeting complete strangers within your own dream? It'd be a romanticized situation if this were a shoujo manga, I'm sure. I guess my mind back to the other participants' appearance. That's where I remember something crucial. One's an old man! What an idiot! Naomi's message from yesterday springs to mind. She said there's definitely something suspicious about that girl and where she's staying. It's not just any old man either. He's Japanese! He lives in Japan. That makes like a lot of sense, right? That man is number 5! I might be onto something. Yeah, mainly the identity of number 5. Actually, I should have caught on right away, and I'm fucking stupid for not doing it earlier. There's still plenty of time before I need to be at school. I want to try something. My decision made, I made my way back to the old man's house. Yeah, let's break in and kill him real quick. Or torture him to death. Fortunately, I make it all the way there without getting lost. It's a pretty tricky route after all, but after jotting down the address yesterday, it turned out to be worth it. But I probably would have been fine without it, considering this is the 21st century and I could have Google Maps did it. This is it. I make sure to keep some distance away to avoid looking suspicious. Maybe early in the morning, but people are still passing through. Once the area empties out, I check inside his mailbox. I feel pretty bad doing this, but it's necessary because I have to kill him. There are a slew of letters in there, definitely more than a few days' worth. Most of them are from debt collectors. Not just from one debt collection agency either. There are multiple different senders. Ignore all that. Grab a random letter and move it from the box. I want to see to whom it's addressed, of course. Ushishagashikanukti. That has to be the name of the old man. Just to be sure, I check a few other letters as well. They all cite the same name. All that's left is to get a glimpse of his stupid fucking face. I consider waiting for him to leave the house, but I need to remain mindful of the time. As important as this is, I do still have school. Helps that I'm probably safest there, too. Just as I decide to stick around for as long as I can, I notice two figures in the distance. Two figures that I recognize even. One male, the other female. Both are foreigners, and tall. It's them. There's still plenty of distance between us, so I can't make out with their stupid faces. Not that I need to, I can tell it's them based on their silhouettes and their stupid green suit, I suppose. Not only are they participants, but they're also the most dangerous duo by far. Oh my god, she looks more ridiculous every time I see her. Number 3 and 11, Frederica Caminati and the Snake Woman. I instinctively duck for cover. They have to be targeting the girl. Either that or they're just looking into the relationship between her and the old man, just as I am. Assuming he turns out to be a participant, it's likely to have tracked him down to here. Number 11's carrying a notepad. I assume she's gotten hold of his address somehow. The internet exists. In that case, they must be coming for him instead of the girl. After all, she wouldn't be listed as living here. Just as I'm deciding whether to stick around or head to school, the front door gets propped ajar. Noticing this, the duo duck into a nearby alley. From what I can tell, number 11 is the one who prompts them to do so. That surprised me. She seems like the kind of person to leap in when the opportunity presents itself, so I don't expect her to tread carefully. But the girl and old man are likely aware of the situation they put themselves in, so it's only natural for them to scout out their surroundings before they leave the house. Deciding the coast is clear, the door swings open. That's... Light pours out of my bag all of a sudden. The moment the old man steps out of the house, in fact. That's when I become certain that he is Ushinmika Chukadaki. His appearance matches what I saw in the dream world, a tenacious-looking old man. I got the impression he was a shut-in of sorts before, but his current attire of a sweater and loose pants says the opposite. Number 11 and Frederico remain hidden for some reason. Regardless, I've confirmed that Ush is a bona fide participant. It's safe to say I'm putting myself in danger if I stay any longer. As such, I slink back to the station, taking care not to bump into any of the others. Anyways... Cool. Wow, we're back here. Don't switch perspectives. I don't want to play as the leprechaun. Okay, like I said, let's play as the leprechaun. Looks like we were right on the money. I whisper to Odette when the old-timer leaves this house. Shush, you dumbass. She may have whispered, but she also slams her foot down on mine. Gotta admit, she's uncharacteristically cautious at times like this. You'd think someone massive like her would charge right in, but nope. She even keeps us a fair distance from the house to ensure we aren't seen. Granted, putting this much distance between us means she gets her massive... This sentence literally doesn't make sense. I thought I was just being stupid reading it. Between us means she gets that her massive body doesn't lend itself to stealth. I read it again. It makes some kind of sense. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Enough about her, though. Let me recall how we ended up here in the first place. If you flashback, I swear to fucking God. Me and Odette had to talk about who to target after the third election, where that crazy thin Japanese lady got eliminated. Odette's intuition played a big part in us targeting Ro, so we still hadn't made use of the cards we were dealt at the beginning. Knowing there'd be a name or two among those initial cards, we decided to go after whoever was in my set. Normally I'd be against showing off my cards, but Odette told me which card she'd taken from Ro immediately afterwards, so like... Well, not like she chose to do that without planning to get something in return. Turns out I had the Russian kid's name card, Sophia something. Really classy last name. The kid had been through some rough stuff, but it ain't none of my concern. We took her parents hostage and Odette got her to spill her life story. Thing is, she implied she had one of Odette's cards. Not only that, but Odette decided to give her some time to screw around. Time to let her get over her regret, really. Can't say why she did it. There ain't no point in trying to get into that woman's head. I wouldn't have been able to learn much about Sophia with just her name, so I decided not to complain. Had things gone according to plan, Odette would have eliminated Sophia, but that Maharu broad one-upped her. Make no mistake, Odette ain't the type to let something like that slow her down. We're the same in that regard. Plenty of things went awry for me back in Italy, but I never took issue with it. In fact, those situations are when people expose their worst side. You gotta make the most of that. Just like I said in the Court of Fate, 2 of the 3 cards dealt to me at the beginning belong to participants that have already been eliminated. That fucking sucks. You're gonna get shafted, dude. Next up is number 5, Ushi. Odette had his name card, so we'd used it to dig up dirt on him, and here we are. Hey, Space Cadet, get it together. We're heading back.
The hell? You saying we can't jump the old geezer now and make him squeal like a little pig? That, or we could break into his house while he's gone.
You sure enough oxygen's reaching that brain of yours up in space? Ain't no one crazy enough to do that at this time of day. Not unless they want to be caught and reported to the police, you fucking idiot. Don't forget, this is a residential district. We can't go wild like with Sophie and Ro. We gotta come back early in the morning or late at night. Only got yourself to blame for that. She smashed her foot down on mine again. Guess she isn't too pleased about the implication she's the only one that stands out. We didn't get any worthwhile info here, did we? So you'd think, but it's easy to take a stab at how he died now that we've seen his house. How's that run-down shack gonna help? Oh, I get it. It's a run-down shack. I understand. Heh, you're on point for once. Keep going. Figured she'd spill the beans if I acted like I caught on, but that didn't go quite as planned. Now I know not to even bother pretending. She smacks my shoulder before she continues. This is a lonely old man we're talking about. In a country that's become known for cases of the elderly being discovered dead in their homes, no less. Knowing how insular Japan and its people can be, that's probably why it happens so often. Hell, apparently they even have specialists to deal with the dead and rotting bodies, too. Everywhere does. They're called coroners, you bitch. Anyway, just remember what the woman told you. That's as big a hint as you can get. Fanny did enjoy running her mouth. I think back to what she told me. Seems like there were rumors of him kicking the bucket since he rarely left the house. Starvation, huh? That can't possibly be correct. What? You think that's it? Insular as Japan may be, it's a developed country. Wouldn't you have gotten retirement or unemployment benefits or something? Under normal circumstances, maybe. Woman did mention he had a bad back, right? Yeah, that's right. She did. I don't know why she remembers more of this stuff than me when I was the one who talked to the woman. Don't underestimate the power of lower back pain. A shipmate of mine suffered from it once. They couldn't bring themselves to move even an inch. So let's assume the geezer got hit by it out of nowhere. Well, ignoring the fact that it wouldn't be sudden if he'd be suffering from it before, but he don't got no one to call for help. Everyone's used to him staying inside, so they wouldn't bat an eyelid. Not like he's getting direct care from the government, it's just disability benefits, so no one's gonna come check on him. All it takes a week without food, or 3 days without water for someone to croak. Trust me. Trust you? What? I can tell she's serious by the tone of her voice and the fact that we're talking about death. Knowing what she's been involved in, I wouldn't be surprised if her crew had come close to starvation at one point. Better she's seen it happen to one of her shipmates before. Why not both? So basically, he starved to death after suffering some crazy back pain. All because no one was there to help him. I mean, it's possible, but would it really happen that whoa! A familiar light emerges from my book. Wow. The sign that a new card's been made. Same thing happens for Odette, too. When she notices, she can't help but grin. It's honestly sickening how good she is at this. I mean, even so, he seemed well enough when he left just now. Same for that Russian kid. Guess any participants with obvious symptoms are cured of them during divine selection. You're probably on the right track there. Chances are everyone's physical condition gets reverted to a time when they were healthy. She nods in reaffirmation after repeating what I said. I've expected her to say she doesn't care, so it takes me by surprise. Her expression reverts to its usual state, then she turns around. Alright, we got enough info for today. Let's head back. We head back the way we came, making sure not to be spotted by Ushi. Cool, cool, cool. We know a lot about this old guy. Oh no! Alan's been tailing Rinka! We'll have to pick this up next time, though. So until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like that, don't forget to like, subscribe. Be sure to tune next week for more Fatal 12 with yours truly. I'll see you guys then.